Fiancé thought I was Aspie and made me silent witness of her cheating with a neighbor. My girlfriend and I have been together for 5 years. She is 44 years old and I'm 48. I loved her and planned to marry her. I had even purchased a $8,640 engagement ring. I had planned to propose to her this Christmas, but that all changed when I discovered she was cheating on me. I don't drink, so when my next-door neighbor asked me and my girlfriend to a little fire pit party in her backyard, I declined and went to bed early since it was a Sunday night, and I had to be at work at 5 a.m. I went upstairs and straight to bed. A few hours later, I woke up to go to the bathroom and my girlfriend was not by my side. I assumed she was still at the neighbor's party. I walked to the second bedroom upstairs, which has a window facing the neighbor's backyard, to see if the party was still going on, but what I saw changed my life. From my upper window, I can see my neighbor's yard. There were only 3 people left: my neighbor, her brother, and my wife. It was around 12:30 a.m., and I noticed my girlfriend sitting next to my neighbor's brother. I continued to watch as my neighbor began to walk away toward her house, and my girlfriend was checking to see if my neighbor had gone inside. Then she moved her chair closer to the neighbor's brother, and I watched as she started making out with him. She was definitely the instigator. I ran back to my room and grabbed my phone, attempting to shoot some photographs from the window, but as soon as I brought out the camera app, they stopped kissing. My neighbor was leaving her home, which was why they stopped. I still snapped some shots, although they weren't very clear. My neighbor then walked back inside the home, where they continued to kiss and take more photographs. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It looks that I was at the right place at the right moment. I'm not sure how long this has been going on. I immediately called her cell phone, and she looked at her phone to see who it was. Then at our house, it was dark, so she couldn't see me behind the window, in a dark room staring at her. She then screened my call and went back to flirting and touching the other man. I was so enraged I wanted to go downstairs and kill both of them, but I couldn't move because I was in such shock. I watched her wish him goodbye and walked through the fence gate toward our home a few minutes later when they got up and put out the fire. I heard my front door open and her stumbling up the stairs. I was waiting for her at the top. She was astonished to see me awake since she believed I was sleeping. She was definitely tipsy, but totally conscious. I inquired where she was going and she replied she was going to a party. I informed her I saw her kissing the neighbor's brother and she attempted to deny it. When I informed her that I witnessed them kissing through the window and that I had captured it on video, she burst into tears, claiming that she was inebriated and made a mistake. I asked her how long this had been going on, and she replied it was the first time, and it was simply a kiss. I was too weary and filled with wrath to question her that night, so I just went to bed. I advised her to sleep in the other bedroom. I couldn't sleep that night. I couldn't stop gazing at the ceiling. I couldn't believe it was the second time she strayed in her relationship. She cheated on her previous spouse with his buddy for 4 years. She has no allegiance, which should have been a warning sign. I suppose what they say, once a cheat, always a cheat, is correct. Like you all stated, I escaped with my life, and I couldn't believe I was thinking about marrying this woman. She apologized again the following morning. The other man is 38 years old. He frequents the area, and I happen to have his mobile phone number. So I texted him and told him I saw you kiss my girlfriend. He responded that she kissed him first and that he recognizes that trust in your relationship has been damaged and that you guys should simply go your own ways. I know he is correct, but can you believe this guy? I called him all sorts of names and threatened to beat him up the next time I saw him, being the furious man that I am. I'm sure he's terrified to return to this area. I'm not a little man, and I used to participate in bodybuilding. The second thing that wounded me was that I thought the man was cool. And he is correct. She was the one who initiated the kiss. When she closed him on him, he drew up a bit, as if to say, "What are you doing?" She simply continued creeping in. I told her that what hurt the most was that it wouldn't have occurred if she hadn't started it. But the time for reflection is past. I am done with this relationship. And I suppose I'm fortunate since I mentioned no financial commitments or children to her. So I walk with a wounded heart, rage, treachery, and bitterness. Of course, whether they're up or not, I'll have that notion in my brain when I leave. Is he there, or is he over there? I'm sure such ideas will disappear with time. After I leave her, I will also tell every one of her friends and family members what a jerk she is. It'll also break her heart if I disclose the ring I've been saving for her. The issue is, she only drinks around 3 times a month and seldom gets intoxicated. I didn't tell her about the ring, and I want to return it. I can see she is very sorry for what she did and tells me on a daily basis how much she loves me. But then that night comes to me, and I think to myself, what about that night you didn't love me? She claims she has no recollection of kissing him. I told her that it was terrible enough that you two kissed, but it was the fact that she made the move on him that stung the most. I don't drink, so I saw what I saw, and I have proof on my camera, albeit the video isn't very good, of two individuals kissing. She no longer denies seeing it and thinks it occurred. Now that the pain is gone, I'm filled with bitterness, and I'm being unpleasant, harsh, and aloof. She says she wishes she could have us back. After spending a particular length of time with someone, we all dread being alone. I feel like I failed as a guy by allowing a lady I love to leave me. To top it all off, I told her I'd leave if she wanted to be with him. Her response was that she didn't want to be with him and that I should stop thinking like way. However, every time this man comes by, since he is our neighbor's brother, I become worried and start asking things like, would she rather be over there? She advised that we sell the home and leave the area since she believes I will be thinking about that night every time he drives in. I haven't informed any of my friends about this since I'm too humiliated to tell them I've been cheated on. On another subject, I'm not sure if I said it, but I'm afraid of the huge transition, being alone, finding my own space. I suppose I should question myself, do I want to dwell in resentment, anger, and you're thinking why all of the time? Or do I want to confront my anxiety of the great shift, knowing that it will pass? Our present property has been in her name for 2 years, but she would be unable to make the mortgage payment without my assistance. She is aware of it and is terrified. The person she had an affair with isn't going to relocate here, since he has his own home and now knows she's a cheat. I have to tell myself to behave as if everything is okay or back to normal. How can she believe I'm totally okay with what she did? I inquired whether she would leave me if the tables were turned, and she responded absolutely. So on a positive note, I get to go away unscathed. She'll be upset when I go, but she created her bed, so she should sleep in it. She decided a kiss from a younger person she found attractive was worth our 5-year relationship. She can live with that choice today. I'm almost certain I was going because I can't look her in the eyes anymore and I don't believe her I love yous anymore. She may now be the neighborhood, since that's what I'll probably use her for till I leave. The second guy was aware that we were a relationship, since he had known us for 2 years. He's just as much of a jerk as she is. As I have said, she will be devastated after I go. I will notify all of her pals. I'll also notify all of my neighbors. I keep wondering that my lack of love or lack of spending time with her since I don't drink is partly to blame. I'm not the most loving man, yet she seemed to need it. Even if the situation could be traced back to me, I don't believe her going behind my back was acceptable. She was clearly looking for attention that she thought she didn't get from me. 2 weeks later, I'm looking for another place to live. My girlfriend thinks everything is forgiven, but the sooner I get out the better so I can move forward and beyond this. I heard the neighbor was having another party as I sat out in my garage, and all the neighbors at the party were present except for the other man. I haven't seen him since I caught him kissing my girlfriend. It's getting harder and harder not to throw it in her face every day what she did. Despite my embarrassment, I had already informed the neighbors who were there about the affair. They all know now to keep their spouses away from her. She won't be able to remain here after I go. The embarrassment, as well as the reality that she won't be able to pay the mortgage without me, will force her out. She not only loses me, but also her new home. It was her decision to do what she did. I'm hoping that kissing was pleasant, since it's going to bring her a lot of pain. I'm going to look to be forgiving for a week before I go, and then bang. I'll be leaving with a detailed explanation of everything she did to me and how I had a ring waiting for her on her favorite day of the year, Christmas. That will never happen again, as I previously said. I escaped a bullet. It would have been a lot worse if I had married her and then found out about all of this. It would have been a lot worse, and I worry about it all the time. This still bothers me now, despite the fact that it occurred 3 weekends ago. The neighbors all knew since I went door to door informing them of the incident and asking if they knew anything. Some of them said that she was flirting with the other guy before the party began, before she became inebriated. They had all agreed not to speak to her. She is a cheater who cheated on her previous relationship and devastated the guy before me. She ended up leaving her ex-husband and he never recovered from the divorce, and she used the settlement to put a down payment on the home where we are now living. He's now a raging alcoholic who has been single for 9 years. It's unfortunate that she chose the worst option and chose his buddy. That's a poor score, damaging many connections. I'm not sure what made me believe she'd be a decent date. I agree that leaving without explanation may be the best option. I understand that bringing up the engagement ring would be a nice stab in the heart. Update: the neighbors hosted another party last night, and the other guy was present. When I told her she was welcome to go party there, she became defensive, asking why I was trying to get rid of her and how she doesn't want to drink there anymore. When I inquired whether the other guy had texted her to come over, she became furious and answered no. I suppose the other guy had a girlfriend with him at night. I heard he had just recently begun dating. I couldn't tell whether she was a neighbor sitting next to him or a new girlfriend since it was dark. I would have gone over there in front of everyone and informed her what occurred Labor Day weekend when she wasn't there if he had a new girlfriend, whom I think he was dating while he made out with mine. I'm not sure whether I'm putting too much thought and attention into this. I wanted to go up to him and confront him, but I didn't want to go to prison for knocking him out. Do I believe that was their only kiss? I'm not sure. I have my reservations. Do I believe they have sex? I'm almost certain they didn't do it. I know her daily routine like the back of my hand, and there's no way it could have occurred, but I may be mistaken. I've been searching for a place to live, and there isn't anything suitable available. Is it bad for me to be angry with all of my neighbors for not even saying, "Hey bro, your girlfriend is out here, flirting with so-and-so"? Come on, come on. I checked her phone, and she had deleted his number. I felt strange examining her phone as if she were a 16-year-old. She didn't go to the party because she claimed she was done going over there, but I'm sure as soon as I go, she'll be there, which is okay since if she's with that person, I'll always have that notion in my brain when I leave. I know some of you think she only wants me there to pay for the home, but after 5 years, I feel I know her quite well. She is sorry for what she did, but I'm not going to justify it. She is going to be suffering when I go, and not only because she's going to lose the home. She knows she screwed up. I made a point of not sleeping in the same room as her, and I've kept my distance since the affair. I informed her today that she would have to sell the home someday, but not move away with me. She began weeping, and it's starting to set in that I'll never forgive her. She's so afraid I'll go that she wants to sell the home so we can start again. No matter where you move, there's always neighbors, and anything can happen in a place. I loathe going into the area and being in that home. She asked why, and I said, I saw you cheat on me there. Some of you may be wondering why she had his phone number preserved. He's only a neighbor's brother. How long had they been communicating? We have a secondary, monetary, business painting and refurbishing furniture. He requested us to paint a dresser for him when we initially moved there. So we need to collect the customer's phone number in order to notify them that it has been completed. The second guy does not reside in our area, but he comes over with his brother and sister-in-law to party. I'm not sure how long it was after he picked up his belongings that they began talking, but at this point I'd prefer not know. When I was in my 20s and 30s, I would have taken what she did a step further and had sex with another girl, video it, and show it to her. But now that I'm older, I recognize that 2 wrongs don't equal a right. When I move out, I'm sure the loneliness will strike me hard after 5 years of being with someone. It's simply something I'll have to deal with, I suppose. I'll be relocating to another city. I've already put items into storage, so when I'm ready to totally go out, which hopefully will be very soon, I'll be able to move. The rest all by myself. I'll wait until she works a 12-hour shift, which will allow me plenty of time to get the rest of my stuff out. My parents are no longer alive, and I have no family relations in my state. They held another party this weekend, and the other guy was there. I'm sure they're all gossiping about me behind my back. It took everything in me to remain inside and not go over there and do something dumb, since disrespect is something I will not tolerate. I confronted her last night, so what's the true reason you did it? And don't blame booze, because I'm never going to accept that. And all she answered was, believe me, I don't want the person all right, with no more explanation. I told her that if she thinks he's more attractive than me or anything, she can take him. I'm not sure. I believe I'm putting too much thought into this. It won't be long until I'm out and able to continue on with my life, but her life will be flipped upside down very soon.